What's the real way to write fictional books with artificial intelligence? My answer is simple. If you don't know who I am author Octavia D. Mason, giving you the best practical writing tips, resources to build a strong novel, and confidence to write your story. And we're back at it again with the tips for you, my beginner writers. Let's go. Disclaimer: I'm not here to tell you what's right and what's wrong. I am simply here to tell you my thoughts, hence the title of this video, my thoughts on AI and fictional books. So if you want to continue on in this video to hear my thoughts, please do so. But if you disagree, kudos to you. You have your own opinion. Here's a little bit of a story to go along with my reasons as to why fictional writers shouldn't use AI to write their fictional books. So, several months ago, I worked at a job and we had workshops that we went through throughout the entire day. It was meant to be like a mental body wellness thing that we had going on. And one of the classes was about financial wisdom. So I went to this workshop thinking, I was going to get information in regards to learning how to be a better entrepreneur, learning how to start my own business, learning how to take care of my money while I am being an entrepreneur. What that all looks like with financial wellness and, being a small business owner or an entrepreneur. That's not what I got. That's not what anyone received in that workshop. And after a myriad of topics on random financial information that really wasn't cohesive, the speaker finally got to the topic of, do you want to write a book? If so, here's how you write a book. And based on the speaker's last 20 minutes of, this is how you get rich real fast, let's earn some money in these precarious, risque little ways, I had the feeling that this conversation on how to write a book wasn't gonna go as I thought it would go. So it was interesting, to say the least. The speaker begins with the question that I just listed. So, how many of you want to write a book? And of course, many people have the aspiration to write a story, whether it be a memoir or a fictional story. People want to write, and I love that urge to write a good book. This rhetorical question of his was immediately followed with, well, you can use AI to write your book for you. And it wasn't just writing the book for you, it was more so writing the entire book for you. And let me also say, if you have a memoir and you're not the best writer you think you are, yes, I think artificial intelligence can absolutely be helpful to you writing your story and taking your actual events in your life and put it in a streamlined process that can be read and be written. But when it concerns creativity and writing a fictional story that is meant to be of your own, that's when I start to have questions in regards to using artificial intelligence. And thus, my questions surrounding AI and its usage with writing a fictional book formed. So, here are my thoughts. I'm laying it all out on the table on why I don't think AI should be used to write your book, outline your book, or flesh out your story. My first thought: creativity can come from the heart, and it can also come from things that people have made to enhance creativity. But I do not think that man made technology is the origin from which you should draw your creativity. And let me further explain. I believe my God created me to mirror Him, to have the ability to create something from nothing, to use words capable of building worlds and changing the imagination and pulling and tugging on one's imagination. When I wrote my novel, The Group, I asked myself, what is it, Octavia, that you want to share with the world? And when I asked that question, I saw the story of a young woman who dealt with the complexities of vulnerability and what it means to be strong while not physically being able to protect herself. I saw a woman who had to learn what it means to be vulnerable and strong at the same time. The oxymoron of giving yourself up while also building yourself. A woman who had to fight her inner battles, not with fists, but with her spirit. And then I asked myself, what is something that you watched as a kid that you've always wanted to see, whether that be in a television show, a movie, or read in a book that you've never seen with a black woman, a beautiful black woman? And I had one thing that came to mind: time travel. I love time travel. I love anything that deals with a group of people coming together to go through and race through time to stop the bad dude who's trying to ruin history. I love it, always have, always will. And so I said, I would love to see a black woman do that because I had never seen it. So I said, why not create it myself? And with those things in mind, I created a story from within me, a story of a young woman who had to deal with the inexplicable reality of time travel existing while also running away from the demons of her past. I sat with these ideas, with these questions that I had, and the answers that I came up with them, which leads me to my next thought. Patience is a virtue, and indeed a writer's friend. Let's go back to the example I had earlier of the workshop that I attended. It was me and several other coworkers who were in that financial wellness class. And as we sat there, us being creatives and having written books and published or have not publishing books, as we sat there and we were told how simple and how easy it is to write a fictional story, we both sat there astounded, and we whispered to each other on how writing is much more than just inputting data or information or thoughts or ideas into a system and having it create that story for you. Writing and creating a story is sitting sometimes by yourself and letting those ideas come to you. It is being patient with the ideas that you have culminating in your mind and in your spirit, and wondering how you're going to put those things together to create the world and the story you see. Let me simply say this in a way that I'm sure aspiring writers and published writers are sure to understand and may agree with me on this, is that writing is as much a work of time as it is a work of art. AI may guarantee to make your writing time and your writing process short and sweet and straight to the point. But I can guarantee you this: there is nothing quite as sweet and satisfying as staying up till 4 in the morning and waiting for the inspiration for that next scene and that next chapter to hit you. And then you come in and you say, I got it. And your little fingers will come together, and you will begin typing out something that is beautiful, a little awkward because it's 4 in the morning, you don't know what you're talking about just yet, but it'll be there and it'll hit you at the right time for you to type it out into your laptop or write it out in your book. And I can guarantee you there is nothing quite like chopping out everything you wrote at that time at 4 a.m. in the morning, because it makes no sense. But guess what? We writers signed up to do that very thing. We write and we rewrite. That's what we signed up for, just like all the other writers before us signed up for. We are like potters. We are taking that slab of clay, we're putting it on that wheel, and we're molding it, and we're pushing it down, letting it rise back up, pushing it down, letting it rise back up. And we're trying to form a vase. We're trying to form a candle holder. And sometimes it gets a little deformed and we have to start all over again. And we have to put that clay, a different set of clay, back on the well to start again. But guess what? Throughout all that molding and shaping and molding and shaping, you're learning how to do it better. You're learning how to work with the process. You're learning how to create something that you will love and your readers will love to read as well. So it may take you 10 years, 5 years, 10 months, 6 months. I've heard 6 months before someone has written a book in 6 months completed. So it may take you from 3 months up into 10 years to write your book. Like it took me 10 years from when I was a senior in high school to when I was out of college to finish my book and publish it. The Kingdom of Light took a very long time to publish, not publish, to write, but I love it. And throughout every year and time I wrote that book, when I erased something, I was able to bring it back maybe 3 years later. And it has made my story stronger. It has made characters that people love. It has created a fictional world of good versus evil. And it has made a story people love. And isn't there a saying that says, all good things come in due time? So why not your book? Why not let that come in due time instead of inserting it into a system that can generate something that may be good, definitely may be good. Artificial intelligence is on a rise, but it's not fully your own, something that you set up with, that you created, that you put the time in to make. Here's one thing that I wholeheartedly believe about writing a book and about finishing a book. Pride comes after the last word is typed. And not that haughty pride that is filled with arrogance, but the pride that says, I wrote that. I did that. I wrote this story from beginning to end, and it is mine. I crafted it. I created it. You may only use AI to outline your story, but just as I believe that every character matters, no matter if it's a side character or the main character, I believe that every thought, every idea, every plot line you create matters and can be helpful to the story you ultimately finish and publish and let your readers read. I believe that AI has its place in the world. I genuinely do. I love artificial intelligence. It is a wonderful, beautiful thing to see take place. We're living in the Matrix, no. But I think it is a wonderful thing to have. And Grammarly does a great job of integrating AI into its system. But dare I say, AI ain't got nothing on you. Ultimately, when I hear someone say they would like to use AI to write the entirety of their book, sometimes what I hear is that they may not believe they have what it takes to write their book from beginning to end with their own creative thoughts and ideas. Or maybe they just simply think that it's been written before. And I believe that that's not the case. Not every story has been told. Your story hasn't been told. And if this is the case where you think that artificial intelligence is the only way you can get your story out there or create your story, I would disagree and say that you have what it takes. Maybe just a little more patience, a little more research can get you there. Which leads me to my practical writing tip for the day. Trust yourself. This process of writing isn't entirely easy. There are challenges. Right now, I am on my third book and I have to get over the idea of, I've written 2 books. Can I write a third one? Am I creating something new or is it going to sound just the same? What do I do? But I have to calm down. I have to trust myself that I know what I'm doing and that if I don't know what I'm doing, I have people I can talk to. And if you don't have someone you can talk to, you can always go on to Google and find a Facebook group or find a YouTube video that will instill in you the confidence that you need to write your own story. And that's what we all have to do at the end of the day is trust ourselves, trust in our ideas, trust in our plot lines or our far-fetched, may seem out of pocket ideas that we have for the story. But I can tell you this, it is all well worth it. Well, here you go. My thoughts on AI as a fictional writer. Let me know your thoughts on if AI should be used to write your entire fictional book in the comments below. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.